we'll call the Lancaster County Wetland Board to order, and the first on the agenda is, Craig Menz. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Someone here representing him? Is someone here representing?
ma'am.
Well, come
Yeah.
forward, please, and state your
Right.
name for the record. State your name for the record, please.
My name is Brian McDermott.
Okay, I'll read the, ad that was in the paper.
Yes, ma'am.
Craig Manson, Care Delta Marine Construction, requests permission to reconstruct a 50-foot and a 42-foot linear foot vinyl jetty with associated dredging along the shoreline of Carter's Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 637, James Wharf Road on Oyster Point. Tax map number 33-488E, BMRC number 21-1089. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So we would just like to do beach nourishment here and extend one of the jetties. There's been some sand accrued in the channel here, and like to use that for beach nourishment. And then extend one of the jetties to keep it from happening again. And would like to do a maintenance dredge if possible.
Anyone on the board want to say anything?
You want to extend the jetty?
Yes, sir.
And does the application say that?
I think the revision, is that on the revision of June?
There's a more recent revision than this, what is in the packet.
Do you see what you need to see,
From what I can see, Madam Chairman, I don't see the latest revisions that Mr. McDermott submitted to more accurately depict not only what's proposed, but the site conditions. So I pull them up on the computer, I guess, but I don't know if you've, I don't know how to rectify.
Did this come in the last week or two?
It's probably been more like a month.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
you
have
have-
some of the, I have that other revision that came in.
Well, there's been a
There's a couple.
series of revisions, submittals, and I mean, if you could pull it up on the computer through our website, that would at least be able to show the board what they're reviewing.
Yeah, and the main issue was the removal of the spoil in the channel. That was the main thing that's in their jurisdiction.
And I don't know that, right,
The rebuilding of the jetty is not a permit issue. The placement of the beach nourishment depends on where it goes. Yeah. So just to get it out there, the main reason I scheduled this for a hearing over a month ago was that the Chief of Habitat Management did not like my no permit required call. I felt like the sand accumulation in the channel was due to It just normal lack of maintenance issues, and in a kind of a man-made channel like that was not habitat or jurisdictional, intertidal jurisdictional material. That call was kind of reversed by the chief, which is their prerogative to do, so you're in this hearing today to look at that. I apologize. Normally, it's like snapshots. If I get a snapshot, I put everything together for a hearing. I don't often get time to go back and take other, if you're now looking at beach nourishment, if you have that material with you, Mr. McDermott, you might want to let the board look at it. It is on VMRC's server, Jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheet and drawing in here. Look, the guy-
Since it has been submitted to VMRC, you guys could rule on it right here and right now. That would probably keep it clean, but,
Where the jetty has been requested to be
Well,
extended.
do we have a drawing like this in our file here?
no, that's what I'm saying. That has come in since I made everything for your packets. When I scheduled that hearing, that was 28, 30 days ago. And I have to notify the adjacent property owners at that time too, so I don't always get a chance to go back. Especially not the way things are moving right now.
Y'all guys come and look at it too, please.
Yeah, can y'all just pass it around or whatever?
And then,
I want to take a look and see where the spoil site
uh-huh.
I mean, that was, looking at the other day, it was like, why are they not doing that? So,
Yeah.
Because the way it is now, that sand's just coming in there
Yeah.
rapid. Should be along in here, the extension, right?
Beach nourishment area. That's what I figured, yeah.
And the beach nourishment, that sand's gonna be compatible with,
If I could offer just a little bit of clarity perhaps, as you're looking at them. If you go to the packet that Brian has for you, this Brian, and you look at the photos that I took back in July of last year, you'll see
Let's see that.
the sand has come around that jetty. It's
Yeah.
an intertidal sandbar. It's to be removed. It's intertidal wetlands. That jetty is also to be extended, and some of that sand will go behind it on the beach. So the placement of the sand from here on the beach, not within your jurisdiction, the extension of the jetty, channelward into the creek, there's no additional wetland impact. The sole wetland impacts of this project, as I see them, in addition to the other jetty was to be replaced in the same footprint, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Some boards require a permit for that, some boards don't. There's no additional impact, except for that impact that occurs due to construction. And take it out, put it back like a bulkhead. So that's left to be seen. But what you, like Brian said, what this Brian said, the excavation of that intertidal sandbar is what's within your jurisdiction. We can't move forward with our permit, which is 85% of the project, until the locality acts upon the portion in your jurisdiction. So we had been waiting for first a determination from the board as to whether or not it requires a permit. And again, we're talking about almost a year ago that this application came in. And when it came in almost a year ago, I had asked for additional information. There was a different, same company, but a different person representing the company doing the drawings. That person is no longer there, this Brian. works for that Brian, and we're reviewing this. If your name's Brian, anyway. So, I mean, there's a lot of confusion, and I get it, and, you know, the intent here today, and I think Brian Barnes is correct.
We're voting, is this one?
While you all don't have the
Extension.
printout of the latest revisions that you see there,
Mhm.
they are on our website, they have been sent to the county. The County Wetlands Board has them, it's just not in this packet. And you can go on from there. My only question would be, and I'm not trying to run the meeting, please. I don't know the volume of that material that's coming out. Is there gonna be excess material than is what's gonna be used for beach nourishment that may be going off-site somewhere? I don't recall that. I don't know what the volume. If you could come up to answer that possibly.
I'm the other Brian. I'm
Brian Fletcher. Yeah, Delta
Delta
Marine.
Marine. And if there is overflow of sand, yes, we will take it to a spoil site. Mill ramp from spoil site was what we used last time. But we're hoping the beach will hold most of it to enhance the growth of the grass that's there. That grass really grows really good in that area. And that jetty being extended, which is, you know, yeah, but it's just being extended so this won't happen again.
Okay. That revision, I think, is dated February 23rd on that drawing. So what you could do, if you wanted to make a motion to approve it as revised, I would say approved as revised, including the revision of February 23rd, 2022. Everything on there is within the normal realm of what would happen. And a few of us even made the comment on the site, yeah, it looks like you need to,
They ought to.
yep,
Yeah.
do something with this spoil and also with these jetties, so, I think it's a good drawing, it's fine, and it's no different than us approving a project as revised at the meeting, contingent upon, revised drawings coming, so, which we have done it before as well. You know, you can do either one. If you don't feel comfortable, you could table it, but I think you have enough in front of you to take action today.
And I'll just add to that, if you don't mind, since you've been on site, and I haven't been there since this picture was taken, but the very first picture that's in your packet, that I took some time ago, again, extending that jetty, which I'll call the right-hand jetty going out,
That's the
Um,
southern.
you know, there was 8 or 10 feet of sandy beach area that would be new impact. So, like a lot of groins, I mean, you guys approved groins when only 10 feet of the 48-foot groin is on the beach and the rest of it's out in the river. But because there is a portion of that structure that is under your jurisdiction, we can't move forward until you take your action.
On that portion? That's a question. I'm just asking a question. So the wetlands portion is just that?
Well,
or-
the removal of this,
Yes,
and because this jetty is gonna be extended out,
but that question's gonna be answered before this question.
well,
Gotcha. Or approved, right?
yeah, the dredging in here can go forward, but not until the permit for that dredging.
Correct.
The groin or the jetty that goes further out into the creek, you know, out here, because I think that was an extension, I forget how long that extension was. Yeah, a portion of it's intertidal, a portion of it's
Not,
subtidal.
okay, gotcha.
So we have never supersede, we don't want to make our judgment on our part of the permit because that could sway the local decision. So VMRC has always waited on the local wetland portion of the project before we move forward with our portion.
Anything else to say? Y'all have anything, any comment?
Well, can we just, the summary is this what we're voting on? Now we have a groin, a 43-foot groin, and an extension of this particular
No, just
No?
get rid of those drawings. I was using photos. The photos representative, from the past, but
This is,
that was one or two or three revisions from a previous
Right.
employee. This is what's being proposed.
Which I can't.
Right, so, and I wish we had a,
With an extended
yeah, so
groin
this
there.
is, this is the sand that's coming out,
Right.
existing sand and channel.
Uh-huh.
This jetty is being extended, and the sand from here is either going here or here. Both beach areas, sand on a beach is exempt by code, but the small portion of it, as I was just showing on, this little, as this jetty goes further out,
This one here.
it's a total of 24 feet. A portion of it will be intertidal, a portion of it will be subtidal. All you guys are really approving is the removal of this material from the channel and the extension of the jetty until it gets to the water.
When we were there was a white
Yeah, I don't think it's going out that
bit
far.
bar.
No, but, I mean, when we were there, we commented that it would make much more sense to do this,
Yeah,
because it's just gonna come back
back
and
in,
come.
right.
I think that is the limits of the dredge cut, whereas the 24 feet is the limits of the channel extension. And I think I would be much more comfortable if you guys explain that. Because I'm explaining your project to them, and if they have any
So this
questions.
is gonna be
My
far enough
understanding-
out that you're not gonna get any built up again?
Yes, sir, because the main problem with the adjacent property, and this owner bought this property,
Uh-huh.
and now he's put riprap at the base of the hill where all that hill was coming down and coming this way.
Uh-huh.
That erosion's more or less gone. So that extension is to catch the sand. If you look on Google Earth, you can see there is some sand moving from way around here. It's just to catch any excess sand from coming back in.
And did we approve this earlier?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We did that, okay.
that was in May, I think, 21.
I'm glad you can remember that. I can't remember
Never,
yesterday.
never crossed.
No, she knows where your mother was.
Well, I have the actual old application.
Okay.
I put them all together in case, what's this? Just what we did.
So that lake that you mentioned a minute ago is a dredge. Because the dredge just comes out, but the new jetty just is like 20-something feet.
Well, if you don't extend this,
We don't have a problem.
removing the sand,
That's
it's gonna still come back in and come around the end of that, this, whatever you call it,
Yes.
seawall, whatever you want, and put it right back where it is right now.
Yes, that's all we want to extend it, so we're not back here next year doing something.
And our,
Brian, do you have anything you want to
is the
say?
other jetty being replaced as well?
It's being replaced, but it's not just the
Same
same.
footprint.
Just this one's being extended.
Same footprint, so just to make sure that everything, because,
Yeah, has to be in the same footprint, if you don't,
Yeah,
you're in violation. You
One good
gotta
thing,
put more-
that new drawing is very clear on everything. I mean, it shows what was there, what we looked at, but it's very clear and explicit on what's there now, what's being replaced, and what's
If
staying.
you don't put it in the same footprint and you deviate, it's gonna be back before us.
And if anything, it's the revision actually makes it easier for you to approve it today, in my opinion, because without that, the only thing I was going to tell you today is what you're looking at is removal of intertidal wetlands, non-vegetated wetlands, which would be the sand, with no real replacement. With this, you're approving the removal of sand that has accumulated in a man-made channel, but you're requiring it to be placed nearby to restore that adjacent non-vegetated wetland area. So I actually think this revision makes it easier to approve. You just for Robert's Rules of Order, just make sure when you make a motion to approve it, it's based on the revisions and including the revision of, I think, the 23rd, I think is the date that Mr. McDermott put on that.
Is there any further discussion? No, I don't see anyone in the audience to ask.
Just give a moment for anyone online. What you need to say is if anyone online wishes to make a comment, please hit the raise your hand icon.
Okay,
I just said that, so.
I know you did, you repeating it.
We're having to do this with all boards and commissions, and it's complicated, but,
Well, is there anyone coming in? Okay, no one online,
correct.
no further comments here, so I entertain a motion, please.
I move that the project be approved contingent on the inclusion of the revision of February 23rd.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by raising your hand. Okey-dokey, 5-0. Almost for 4-0.
Okay.
You're going to other businesses, is what you want?
Yeah, I think Mr. Fletcher wanted to address y'all with other business.
Right now, we're going into other business, since we have no further applications. Is it anyone that would like to speak to the board? State your name for the record.
Brian Fletcher, Delta Marine.
We have to limit your time, so,
It'll be short and sweet. The, other meeting that was on the agenda today that's been taken off, I'm 98% sure that the drawings on there belong to Delta Marine
well,
and don't have permission from us to use them, but I don't know how that works. I don't know. It's no big deal. I just don't want to be, I don't want my drawings to be, I don't want to be responsible for anything that I'm not doing.
Okay. So what you guys can do as a board, I mean, you can take comments from the public. You're in a public meeting. What I would do is, next month, if you hear Mr. Erickson's request, we'll look at it again. And what I was gonna do is probably take you guys to the site again. And just look over those drawings well and see if Mr. Fletcher's business name is on there. If there's a dispute between them over the drawings, that would be a civil issue between those two. But it may mean that you need to look, you were requiring Mr. Erickson to give you better profile views anyway. So I think, you know, you can take that for what you will, but yeah.
well, I think we need to clarify before we really have a meeting on Mr. Erickson. Did he use the drawings or didn't he use the drawings? We need something for this board for Erickson, don't you think?
Yeah.
Stating that he did or did not use the drawings. I mean, by looking, I couldn't tell who drew them or anything. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, and I think Mr. Fletcher, it sounds to me like he also just wants y'all to know that he is not associated with that part of the project
That's the main thing.
and won't be a part of it going forward.
That's it. Just,
And in a conversation this week with Mr. Erickson, he stated that he was going to use a different contractor, but he wasn't sure, but so they're both saying the same thing, and I think just for the record, Mr. Fletcher's not associated with Mr. Erickson's project going forward.
perfect.
Am I correct on that?
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll add again, in an attempt to clarify, this is not unlike an agent, Joey, or Craig, or Roger. Their drawings, well, it's a little bit unlike it. Their drawings are what gets permitted. The drawings that get permitted, if the contractor doesn't build what you guys permitted by the drawings, that's not on the guy that did the drawings. That's on the contractor. I believe, and I don't want to presume, but some of these drawings were provided by Delta for Mr. Erickson on the portion of the project that we gave an after-the-fact approval for. And at that point in time, whether, he paid me for those drawings and now left them copyrighted, they're his drawings. It's like me using a plat, survey from, if I buy a piece of property and I get a survey from a guy that I pay for, and now I add a peer to it and submit it for an application. That's my survey. I bought it. Mr. Erickson bought these drawings. Now, there's other stuff in here that Brian didn't do, or that Delta didn't do this, but thank you for clarifying on that, because there's a long history on this particular project, and the more clarity we can have going forward, the better.
There's not, my concern was there was not a contractor on the application, but I don't want it to get misconstrued. Whoever drawings they are, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, that's more of an agent
I,
thing than a contract.
I just don't want anything to do with that project. I don't, if something's done wrong on that project from here on out, it's not on Delta Marine.
All right, understood.
Thank y'all.
Oh, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
I think you.
We might need to do our job.
What's that, You'll probably want that.
I'll tell you what, because this is, technically they were entered into the record.
We can have a copy of it.
Just keep that copy.
That's fine.
It's like when somebody, remember the old days when people would bring a photo and you said you gotta keep it for a
Oh,
month?
yes, yes.
You have them, but because they
Okay.
submitted,
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So,
and,
We'll just we'll email that to you today, so you got it up there.
Okay.
you're gonna have to keep that paperclip too. I hope you have another one.
Mr. McDermott, how do you spell your last name?
Yes, sir, it's McDearmon.
M-O-N, okay, with no D on the end.
spell
All
that
right,
again,
all right, thank you.
lost track.
Yes, ma'am, McDearmo.
And your name is Brian too.
Yes, ma'am.
He's with a Y.
I've got a grandson named Brian, so it's lots of Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanna keep-
Brian, give these to Brian. So Brian can
Hey,
get
they all
copies.
stand.
You get it done or get on for Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, hopefully.
well, is it
Once
any
you three
further
figure it
business,
out.
Brian, that we need to discuss?
No, indeed.
Approval of minutes, please, of the February 10th minutes. You'll hear motion to approve.
I so move.
Okay, second,
Second.
all in favor, raise your right hand.